What up, guys? Kevin Grant here, and today I'm going to read a little bit of information from Neville Goddard's The Law and the Promise, and this is from chapter 11, titled "The Potter." The Potter. So, just going to jump right in and read a little short passage for you guys. Hopefully, this is going to give you a little deeper understanding of how powerful your mind, your imagination is. So, Neville writes, Paul states, the Spirit of God dwells in you. Now, examine yourselves to see whether you are holding to your faith. Test yourselves. Do you not realize that Jesus Christ is in you, unless indeed you fail to meet the test? I hope you will find out that we have not failed. If all things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made, it should not be difficult for man to test himself to find out who this creator in himself is. The test will prove to man that his imagination is the one who gives life to the dead and calls into existence the things that do not exist. So what that means is, by imagination, Neville is saying, not as fantasy, not as thinking about unicorns and things like that, but when we have thoughts, thinking of things, thinking of how you want your day to go, or picturing how something looks, even when you're not there to physically look at it, that's imagination. So what he's saying is that our imagination creates your reality. So, for example, if you look around right now, everything that's physical, that your physical eyes can see, for example, anything, then those objects that do appear had to first come from imagination, a thought, a belief, a thought in the mind, an idea. So, in other words, if you can kind of grasp this and just kind of look around, just glance at everything, you may begin to understand that everything in our physical world had to come from within our imagination, or from someone's imagination, from someone's thoughts, from someone's idea, right? Like this pen right here. Before this pen can be put into physical form, it had to be first only imagined, right? Because we can't have it in the physical without first it being first in someone's mind or imagination as an idea, and then it becomes physical when it's we start to fashion and do things with the hands, but it's first created in the mind. And if we can understand this truth and start to realize anything you see throughout your world, that's how all things are created. So if you want to experience something that you haven't yet, you can't experience something that you haven't yet imagined, right? That's why people have to do goal setting and write down their goals, because it gets them to thinking about, to imagining, to having the thoughts, the ideas of what it is they want to experience. And then only then can you begin to do things and experience those thoughts, those ideas, that imagination, that image that you had in your mind. So I hope this sheds a little bit of light for you guys to help you realize that when now I can, at times I look out when I'm really thinking about things, I can look out and everything I see, I realize that we live in a world of imagination, where most people would think that imagination is just, like they thinking of it, that is not, they thinking of it like like unicorns. We're not talking about that. I want you to understand, and what Neville is trying to do, what Neville is doing in his book, is helping people realize that we live in a world of imagination. And the physical world itself, this is going to sound a little weird, but this is the way that I can explain it. The physical world is not the real world. The real world is imagination, because the imagination creates the physical world. The things you see with your physical hands. Your imagination creates this pen, right? It has to start here